Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ankahet with WPGN. If the videos are a little slow on the upload, please forgive me. I have an infected tooth, and I am trying to overcome that. So today we're going to be talking about Diablo 3. Do a little bit of a review, show some gameplay, yada yada yada. So this is Diablo 3 with the expansion, the Reaper of Souls. Now, there's a few things that have been changed. The Heroic Cube is no longer, usable by players. They have removed the real-life currency auction house as well as the gold auction house from the game. Just give you a heads up on that. Also, let's see, Paragon levels are available with the Reaper of Souls expansion. I believe you have 6 classes to choose from. Let's take a look. Yes, Barbarian, Crusader, Demon Hunter, Monk, Witch Doctor, and Wizard. So that's that. Alright, oh, you also have 2 or 3 different play modes available to you. You have regular, which is not included with hardcore or seasonal. You have hardcore, which means that once you die, that character is destroyed along with any items that it may have been carrying. Seasonal hero, I haven't done that. I believe that is a PvP oriented dealie. So you have basically 3 modes to play available. You have many different difficulties. As you can see, I have my character list over here. But we're gonna start with, something easy. I wish you could create, you customize your creation, but that is not available, nor do I think it will be in the future. Let's start going over a few things that I like about the game, and a few things that I don't. We'll start with what I do like. I do like that the graphics are very good. I like that you can indeed play with your friends, so on and so forth. I like the Paragon level thing. I like the being able to play on multiple difficulties. It does have a lot of good features. The story is nice, the art direction is nice, the graphics are very good. Okay, let's go over what I dislike about it. Number one, and this is the first and foremost, is I don't like the fact that there is no offline play version available for this game. You have to be, PC anyway, you have to be online, have an active internet connection in order to play this game on your computer. However, the Xbox and PlayStation version, you can play in offline mode and have more than one player join you in offline mode with extra controllers. So this was definitely an oversight on their part when it came to PC. I know that a lot of people are upset about that. I even read part of an interview someone had posted with one of the developers that said that they were never going to add he had no intention of adding an offline mode because he didn't want it to be like Diablo 2, but Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 were received very well. They received very high ratings. A lot of people played them. They sold a lot of, millions and millions of copies of that game, of those games. So why they wouldn't include an offline mode is beyond me. The second thing that I kind of dislike, even though I might be a mouse and keyboard guy, is that they did not add controller support into the game. So if you have the PC version and you want to play with a controller, you either have to use a program like D3, Joy to Key, probably both of them, and mess around with a lot of stuff that's really shouldn't be necessary to do that. or you have to purchase it on PlayStation or Xbox. Okay. What other things do I dislike? I think those are really my two main gripes. Oh, and also, this particular developer that was interviewed said that he wanted it to be a true multiplayer experience, but then they took the gold auction house out, so you can no longer sell to other players. If you wanted to trade items to other players, you would have to be you'd have to invite them to a game or join their party, drop the item on the ground, or physically trade it across to them. I don't think that removing the gold auction house was a very player-friendly thing to do. It helped people make in-game gold, not that that's hard, but hey, they had it was there for a long time, they should have left it there. I don't think they should have introduced the real-life currency auction house at all, so I'm not very sad that that's gone. But okay, so let's show you a little bit of what the beginning looks like. So we're gonna select our barbarian here. Act 1 normal. Now, playing this on PC, it is a little weird to get used to, especially if you are a console gamer or if you use controllers a lot. Where a controller gives you complete control over your freedom of movement. If you're playing this on PC without a controller or without the workaround for a controller, you have 4 cardinal directions in which
this place
which
reeks
it
of
likes you
death.
to move. You have left, right, up, and down. You can move diagonally, and you can hold down the mouse button to make yourself run in whichever direction you would like. But it is a very point-to-click game, so it has the same movement and view system as, say, League of Legends does, but the skill firing is a little different. You have your regular main attack on your left mouse button on your fire, and then you have your special on your right. Now, I don't have a special right now because I'm on one and I just started this game on this character. So let's get down here and go through the zombies.
I seek the fallen star.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
And I know that I'm fast forwarding through the quests and stuff, but I plan to stream of this, and I will be more than time to do the quests. We're gonna go through and kill normal is kind of
I've never seen anyone
to
fight
Diablo
like
3, ha ha ha.
Open the gates.
It's really easy.
The slaughtered calf inn.
There really isn't much of a challenge in the normal difficulty, but once you get into hard and expert and all of those other higher difficulty levels, it gets to be much more difficult. I don't think I actually have anything in here that I can use this all higher level. Okay, so we're gonna go talk to Leah. Now they do have these.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business.
We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle,
Are you Leah?
I did, but it blasted my. Came back here.
Watch out! The wounded are turning. Our next quest, which is
This is killing
some of the tavern people, or townspeople, turned into zombies. Now, barbarians, in this case, work on a rage system, and you can see that over here. You have your life here, and I will go through and make videos of each class explaining, all of that good
The
stuff.
dead will overwhelm us all.
I will send them.
Thank you.
Okay, so the quest system is fairly easy. Shows up on your right-hand side here. And it's not a hard game until you get to the higher difficulty levels. Now let's switch to a different character. Oh, let me add that if you plan to or currently play this game, if you currently play the game, then you know. If you haven't played before but are looking to play, one of the things that you need to be aware of is when you leave the game, all of the areas outside of town, including the dungeons, fields, and all that stuff, those all reset. They changed their layout, and the monsters respawn. So, if you are looking to finish a quest, then the last thing you want to do is leave the game that has your current quest out in the middle of the field somewhere, because you're going to have to fight your way all the way back there when you restart the game. So a good way to do this, or go about this, unless you don't mind killing everything repeatedly like that, is wait until you have finished the quest and it tells you to go back to town, or don't pick the quest up just yet and come back to it and pick it up when you resume your game. That way, you know, it's not out in the middle of nowhere and you have to fight your way all the way back there. Now this... Okay. Here is my Demon Hunter. She is level 70 and has 15 levels of Paragon. And I'm currently playing through hard mode a second time, just to, you know, pick up some items, make some money and whatnot in a relatively quick fashion. Now I will go into a dungeon here, and we'll kill a couple of either champion mobs or elite mobs to demonstrate the Shower of Wisdom system, or the Pinata system, as
Has
I
he
like to call
agreed
it.
to send us reinforcements?
My lord says he will send no
Okay,
living
so
man
let
to
me
meddle
explain
with
some items here.
legendary
We've
demon
got, you know, your
Perhaps
white
he'll believe
items.
when his kingdom has
I
burnt
don't
to
know if I can
ashes
actually
around
get a
him.
hold of those. I don't think I can. But you have your white items, which are kind of like your lowest quality. Well, there are gray items too, and they're even worse quality, but white items are pretty bad. It's kind of the stuff that you start the game with. And then you slowly upgrade to blue items, which I don't have in here, but I can pop over to the shop real quick and show you.
What do you think demon flesh tastes like? They are running a
He
bit
only
low
has
on
yellow
meat.
stuff. Alright, well, let's try this fella down here.
Got him up here to
Okay,
dig.
so here's
I'll
some
be
blue
damned
items.
if I'm leaving without a fight.
You know, that just means that they're magical, they have, you know, an extra stat or more on them. And then you move up what you have yellow items, which are rare. These have a few more stats on them, higher damage usually, so on and so forth. And then if you look over on my character screen here, you have orange items, which are legendary items. Most of the time these can be found. You can also pick up, find what are called plans and make them at your blacksmith. And then you have green items here, which are set items. These are a little harder to find, and it's harder to get the ones that you want. So you have multiple classification of items. Now let's go over enemies. Enemies, usually, for the most part, the ones you run across will have a white name. And
The demons are in the keep!
marked.
They're coming up from the depths! To arms!
Now, if you run across a mob with a blue name, that means that it's a champion mob, and it's going to be harder and have aspects that will make it a little more difficult to defeat. If you run across a mob with a yellow name, then it's an elite monster, and it will be champion. If you run across a yellow monster on screen, and then their name is in purple, that means it's a boss monster. Now, these are pretty though, because it's got really decent gear. And on hard, I was really just getting through this to money. Plus, okay, now here's a perfect example of what I was talking about. These are, you see how the blue name? These are
I wish I could do that.
See, now we've got some money, and we've got a couple of rare items. I don't think either of these will be very good for me. Okay, the belt's not. This is a rare crafting item that you need to upgrade your forges and whatnot, and we'll talk about that momentarily. So those were some champion monsters. You have health globes. It can restore your health as you're in combat, kind of expedites things a little bit. You do get a permanent potion down here that you don't really run out of. It's always there, but it is on a cooldown. So there's that. Town portal, also, if you remember in the previous games, you had to have either scrolls or tomes of town portal. Now you just get the ability town portal, and you don't have to restock on scrolls and stuff like that. I will use it now to return back to the keep. So now that we're back, let's look at another thing here. You have your stash, which you can put any amount of items that you want to until it fills up. You can buy more tabs for it. Now this stash is available across any character that you create on this account, or on your account. You can put just about anything in here, I think. Now this book right here, called the Book of Cain, this is what you click to identify items. Like, say you have a green item or an orange item in your inventory with a question mark on it. You would come back to town, click this book, you get a little type of casting bar kind of deal, and at the end of that bar, all of those items in your inventory would be identified. It does them all at one time, which is kind of nice. So those two things will always be right next to each other, very convenient. Let's look at the forge. The forge you get in Act 1 as you're going through the quest line and you help Hadrig kill his wife. Shortly after that you will gain access to this forge. Now what this forge allows you to do is craft things for your character, and there's different measures of what you can craft for, you know, different level requirements. And also when you learn a plan, they will show up here so you can craft them if you should have the materials. Now you can also do what's called training these, and as you see, this is max rank for now. And basically what happens is, at first I think you pay 10,000 gold and it trains up to level 2, and that allows you to gain these. The more times you train it, obviously the more money it will cost, but the more things it allows you to have access to crafting. Now let's move over to the enchanter thing here. This is your little enchanting station. You can transmogrify your items to make them look like other items, and I can demonstrate that real quick here. Like, say we wanted this chest piece to look like just a plain old cloth tunic. We'd click that, pay the 500 gold to do it, and it would turn it into the cloth tunic. Or you can, you know, do this for other things. Now every legendary that you collect and every set item will also give you a transmogrification display. Now these are a little more. These are 50,000 to transmogrify, so make sure that it's going to be something that you have for a while and that you want, because it can get rather expensive. Your other option here at this station is to enchant. So if we take one of my crossbows, put it in there, it will give us a list of all of the stats that are on that crossbow. And if I wanted to replace something, say I didn't want the arcane damage on it, I could click it, click replace property for the minor fee of almost 22 grand, and I will be able to choose from a generated list of items that I can add in place of that arcane damage. And I will go through these later because I kind of need to. Now this can also be trained, and as you might notice, this is also level 12. You can also train this up, which gives you access to better results at enchanting and more transmogrification recipes or stuff. And it is really expensive to enchant weapons. Let me demonstrate. To enchant anything above the normal stuff, even the normal stuff, 10,000, 25,000, 50,000. Yeah, it's transmogrification is expensive, so I don't do it very often, only when I'm going to have the items for a while. Now the third stage you will have access to after completing a certain amount of story is Covetous Shin, and he's your gem crafter. Now this has replaced the Herodric Cube, so instead of using the Herodric Cube to combine gems, you just come here. It'll display what you have the stuff to craft. So say I wanted to craft an Imperial Topaz, and it requires 3 Marquise Topaz, and it will cost me 200,000 gold to do it. But if I were going to make something small, like a Flawless Ruby, then I could just create that for 2,500, and boom, I've made a Flawless Ruby. You make your jewelry here as well. You can remove gem sockets, but it is very expensive. As you might notice, to remove the gems in this item without destroying the item, it costs 250,000 gold. I think that they kind of went a little haywire with the gold sink in this game, but that's okay. You'll also notice that this can also be ranked up to a maximum of 12, allowing you more recipes and all that good stuff. So there you have it. There's your crafting, enchanting, and all that good junk. Another cool feature is dyes. So we'll take a trip over to this
I've got my people have been lost. Scattered to the
we
wind,
have access to
but
different
I will
dyes.
survive.
Finishing
as
dye
long as
makes
you
everything
rise up.
disappear, so you're pretty much down to your skinnies. This removes the dye, and then any of these, change the color. Now you can dye over something and then dye over it again without having to remove it. But if you wanted to take it back to its normal color that it comes with, then you would need Allsoap's Miraculous Dye Remover. Some of them are a little more expensive than others, and as you complete higher difficulty levels, you will gain access to more expensive and other, different dyes. The other thing about this is the merchants are not going to have the same dyes every time you come back to town. So right now he may have these, but if I, go kill some monsters, do a quest or two, and then come back, he may have like a, winter dye or a purity dye or an infernal dye or something like that. It will change, just as his, armor and the rest of his items do. Okay. In this game, you also do have to repair your gear to prevent it from breaking. Once it's broken, it serves, and you no longer gain the benefits of that item's stats until you repair it. What else? So in the standard edition, without the expansion, this game has 4 acts. When you buy and install Reaper of Souls, you gain access to the 5th
mercy.
act.
If our champion hadn't
And
come
you can
back, we'd
complete
all be
that as
dead.
well, and you can replay the entirety of the thing
Unholy bloody magic.
like that.
You'd think all the sacrament sits between the stones
You can
would
play
keep them
single
out.
player if you want, or you can hit escape and click open the game to the public, which means that anybody can join your game. You can invite friends to join your game simply by going to your party list here. Say I wanted to invite Joshua Miles. Okay, I can't do that. Maybe he doesn't have this game. Colton Knight. No, he doesn't have it either. Okay. Wow. Alright. None of the people I have online play this. But anyhow. So you could do it that way. Or they can invite you, or if you want to, you can... Let's see. Chat, social. Okay, under social, you can enable quick join and enable player near you. So, you know, they can just pop into your game, and or, you know, you can pop into their game, so on and so forth. So that's kind of a nifty feature. And what else? Other than that, I mean, yeah, that's just
Cooking and serving gruel ain't glorious, but these men can't fight and die on empty stomachs.
I heard that there may be plans for another expansion. I don't really know.
Thieves have their own studies.
I kind of hope there is to add a little more to the game.
The world is not as simple as it seems.
I hope they also, you know, continue with the Diablo 4. But if they're going to continue with the Diablo 4, they need to put an offline version of the game. You know, they need to make that available. Because I know, personally, when I bought the game at release and it was $60 on my original account, I beat it on 4 different difficulties in 4 days. The game was too short for $60, I think. Now that it's down to 20, I think that's a little more reasonable. But I was very upset that there was no offline play version because I felt that I was paying for a game that I didn't actually own. And I think it's very brazen of Blizzard to put out a game that someone can't actually own. It's one of those... They put a game out and basically said, oh, well, you know, if you don't have internet, screw you. I don't think that's the right attitude. I definitely think that the developer behind these decisions should probably be looking for another job, but that's just my opinion. So moving on, you know, that is Diablo 3. It's not a bad game. It's definitely more reasonable for the $20 for standard and then $20 for the X-Pack or whatever, if you buy it through Blizzard anyway. If you pick it up at a store near you, it's $10, so you can end up getting the entire game for $30. Just stick the CD in there and there you go. Or you can buy it on the PlayStation and Xbox, and of course it's still about $30, so you're paying the same amount of money either way. Only difference is you can use a controller with those, and the game is a little different. They did in fact rebuild the game for the PlayStation and the Xbox. It doesn't look anything like this. Instead of having, you know, your character pane window like here, there's a window that comes up and fills basically your entire screen, and all of your abilities and skills and whatnot are on a pie chart. But I can explain that in a later video. Oh, and you also have followers that you can equip a certain amount of items to. A weapon, an offhand, an amulet, 2 rings, and a particular or proprietary follower item. So this is kind of cool. You can teach them abilities and switch off between those abilities if you need. And you can also pick up different followers, like if I wanted, you know, the Enchantress to follow me, then I talk to her. If I wanted the Scoundrel to follow me, then I talk to him.
Fear and pain have no hold on me.
So that's how that works, and they level up with you regardless of whether they are in town or traveling with you. So if I were to pick up the Scoundrel, which I haven't ever had with me at all, he would be level 70 as well. And I would have to go through and pick his skills out and make him weapons and all that good junk. But it's not a bad game. I do recommend it. Now that it's come down in price quite a bit, it's a bit more affordable. The only truly horrible thing is that if you're going to buy it on PC, you have to have an internet connection to play. Even single player, which I think is crap. But hey, So that is Diablo 3, ladies and gentlemen. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing, and I will see you later.